Hello everybody, it's Devin here with Rogue Deck Chronicles, and this week we're doing something a little different. We are going to be doing a Pokemon TCG Pocket deck list to pair up with the episode we did yesterday talking about Pokemon TCG Pocket as of right now. So the deck we're going to profile today is a deck that I've been enjoying a lot on the ladder, and it honestly causes a lot of trouble to certain decks, and that is Dark Poison, so Scolipede Weezing. So let's go over the cards in the deck, go over how it plays, and then show off some matches to see how it goes. So this deck is Scolipede Weezing, so it runs a 2-2-2 line of the Venipede, the Whirlipede, and the Scolipede from Mythical Island. The main attack for this is Scolipede. It's 140 HP, Stage 2 Darkness Pokemon with a Dark Colorless Venoshock attack that does 70 plus 50 if the opponent's active Pokemon is poisoned. So you ask, how do we get the poison? Well, we can poison with the Whirlipede with the 1 Darkness Energy, Poison Sting, 20 plus poison. Or we can do it the good old-fashioned way from pre-Mythical Island, which is Weezing. So Weezing from the Genetic Apex is a 110 Stage 1 Darkness Pokemon with the ability Gas Leak. If it is in the active, you can poison your opponent's active, and then it has an attack tackle, which is a single Darkness for 30 damage. But you don't always have to attack with Weezing. What you can do is set up the poison with Weezing, use the supporter card Koga, scoop up the Weezing from the active, and then put in the Scolipede from the bench and then hit it for 120 plus poison. So it's 120 and then 10 for the poison. So that's 130 before weakness. 130 hits a lot of important cards right now for one-shot KO, particularly Celebi. And then with the weakness, 150 will KO Mewtwo EX. So it's a really good matchup spread across some of the top tier meta decks in the format. We also use 2 Koffing. One is the Division Koffing from Mythical Island. The other one is the Suffocating Gas one from Genetic Apex. And we do run 1 Weezing from Mythical Island for Smokescreen. Smokescreen does 50 for 2 Darkness, but it also forces the opponent's active Pokemon to flip a coin before it can go through its attack phase. And if it flips a Tails, it cannot attack us. So that's really good pressure, especially on Celebi decks, where they already have to kind of commit to a singular attacker, and us forcing them to flip a 50-50 before they can even go to their coin flip attack phase causes some pressure. Along with the rest of the deck, we do run 1 poison for a little bit more, or 1 potion for some longevity, 2 X speeds to help with reducing of the retreat cost, 2 Pokeballs to help with, we only run 4 basics, so it helps us pull out more of the basics, 2 research, and we do run a singular leaf to help with the retreat cost. The Scolipede retreat cost is 2, the Weezings are 3, so we basically can pivot around if we need to with this deck. So let's go into a couple matches, see how the deck plays, and see how this deck kind of goes through it. Alrighty, so time for match number 1 with the Scolipede Weezing deck. We are going second, so we'll see how this sets up. And we are leading with the Division Koffing, so it's actually not a bad lead for us here. So we will do the Division, pull out a Koffing from the deck. Oh look, there's a nice little mirror match. So we'll see how our opponent goes with this as well. Nothing, okay. So we're missing out a turn here. We won't be able to get the Venipede, but we will get a Koffing out in the play. So we'll have to see what our opponent does. So we already have the Smokescreen Weezing in hand. And here's the Gas Leak Weezing. So it's gonna do 10 damage to the poison. Oh, this is a Team Rocket deck, so this is Weezing Arbok. So putting some pressure on us early with poison against us. So we're gonna be down 40 damage here with the 30 plus the poison tick. But here's the fun part with this, is that we will heal off 20 damage right there. And then we're going to evolve to get rid of the poison. So that at least saves us 10 poison ticks right there. And then we're going to hit it for 50. And then forcing the coin flip for the next attack. So we will still take the poison damage. But we will force them to coin flip for the additional 30. So it's the beauty of the Gas Leak Weezing. It's so low energy that you can start spreading and setting up the rest of your board. Now the one thing we do need to keep in mind is that Arbok does prevent retreating, but it does not prevent the Koga. So we want to kind of spread everything around we can. Waiting to see if our opponent has a successful smokescreen flip here. And it fails the smokescreen, so we able to save 30 damage right there. And there's the Venipede. Awesome. So we'll start setting up this Venipede on the bench. We'll take the 10 damage from poison. So this Weezing is really a good, like we're seeing Weezing doing his job and just preventing damage on the board and making our opponent have to make hard decisions. Weezing having a high retreat cost makes it really difficult for them to pivot quickly without playing the Koga. There is a chance that our opponent's still going to Koga this turn. And he doesn't. Awesome. So he is flipping to see if he gets the damage. He does succeed on the coin flip, so that's fine. But honestly, that one turn has helped us get really prepared for the rest of the fight here. So what we could do, so we're going to Poké Ball to pull out the Venipede. We're going to set up another Venipede on the bench here. And what, you know what? I want to keep this Weezing alive. I want to prevent a prize point for our opponent for this turn. So we are going to retreat into this Whirlipede. And then we're just going to poison, or do Poison Sting for 20. We won't get the poison benefit on this, which is fine. But we do get the pressure on there. Now, opponent's probably going to promote his Weezing smokescreen, but when we evolve, we get around the smokescreen. So we have one turn of not having to worry about that smokescreen. And there he is setting up his Arbok right there. Arbok's going to prevent retreats. But hopefully with the way the rest of our board is setting up, we are getting to the point of really putting pressure on our opponent here. Now, we won't get the bonus 50 damage this turn. Perfectly fine, we don't have to. We just have to put pressure on him. Because now he has a choice. Is he going to keep the Weezing in and chance the fact that we can push through the smokescreen or even go around the smokescreen? Or are we going to do something else? Okay, so we're gonna research, try to see if we can get a Whirlipede or another. We got a Whirlipede, which is great. You know what? We're gonna retreat into that Whirlipede. We're gonna set up the Venipede or the Scolipede one more time. And this Weezing now is at 10 HP after the poison tip. So if the Weezing stays in the active, it's not going to survive into our turn. So we're forcing an X speed, a Leaf, or an Energy to retreat. Well, it's not going to be a Leaf. So it looks like, okay, so we're going to get the 10 here. So we get the second prize points. We're up 2-0 on prizes, or on KO points here. And he just gave us an Arbok. So what we can do actually is, again, we're playing around the smoke screen by doing the evolution here. And we are going to do the 70. We don't get the bonus, which is fine, but now the Arbok has a choice. Attack us for 60, not KO, we return KO back. Or does he's going for the Muck, because he has to evolve that Grimer, or we win. Opponent conceded, so he didn't get the piece. But that's really the deck in action. It was really good proof of having a secondary poison with Whirlipede. But let's go do another one and see how the other match goes. Alrighty, time for another match with the Poison, Dark Poison Whirlipede deck here. There we go, loaded in. Sometimes it does take a minute. And we're going second again, which is great. We'll be able to use that attack phase turn 1. So we do lead with a Whirlipede. Not the worst thing in the world. And now here's a Psychic deck. So this is exactly why we built this deck. Is that it definitely makes Psychic very, very different. So this is more than likely a Mewtwo deck. It is, okay. We see Ralts, it's always paired up with Mewtwo. It's fantastic. So setting up the double Mewtwo. Obviously, he doesn't have, can't do an energy, so he's one turn behind. So we're going to Pokeball and then Research. Pokeball gets one Koffing out. Awesome. So we'll put that Koffing into play. We'll Research out. Get another Research and a Scolipede. Okay, so no Whirlipede yet, but we still have Research next turn. And we are really putting him on a back foot here. So we'll see, does he X-Speed? Does he get the Ralts out? He really should. That Kirlia isn't much safer with the weakness. Leaf, okay, so he's using his supporter for the retreat. But he's giving us a little bit of a Mewtwo. He's just kind of feeding us some Mewtwo so we can do 40 minimum this next turn. Hopefully more. Okay, so Pokeball. Alright, so before we do any energy, let's pull out another Venipede. Awesome. We're going to evolve that Koffing to a Weezing just for the pressure for future. Leaf and a Koffing. Okay, so we do miss out on Whirlipede this turn, but that's fine. We'll just set up another Venipede, and we will do the 40 damage. So now, best case scenario for him is he's going to have free energy on this Mewtwo. He's going to have free energy on Mewtwo. Okay. 2 energy on a Mewtwo. Okay. So he's not even trying to set up for the side drive now. Doesn't feel like he has to. Alright, so there's the smoke screen. So we're going to just rely on our Weezings for a turn here. So we're going to give up this Venipede. So this Mewtwo now is 70. So it can be KO'd by the Weezing next turn. That's if he keeps this Mewtwo in the active. He's probably going to retreat. If I was him, I would retreat. No. So he just takes the KO in front of him. So really what this is now is that we can really set up a play for 2 plays from him. It really depends on what we pull off the top deck here. It's just an X speed. Okay, so we will lose this Weezing this turn. We will lose this Weezing this turn. But we get 2 prizes out of it, which is a little bit of a pressure point. The next Mewtwo is going to do 150 with the side drive. But that's really the biggest point, is we missed the Whirlipede, and that really put us into a lot of pressure. Okay, yeah. Which is, it's disappointing, but it's fine to a point. Because right now our opponent is pretty much set up with subs. We were just 1 turn too slow. 2 turns too slow, because that is what it does. Like right here, we're not able to get the KO. He's set up. We're gonna let him get the advantage, and then we'll go to another game. Hopefully show off a little more consistency. We haven't really been able to show off it working all together yet. Our opponent did a really good job. He was able to streamline that Gardevoir and a double Mewtwo really quickly, and we just weren't able to keep up. If we were able to pull 1 Whirlipede, we would have been fine on that. So let's do another match and see how it goes. Alright, another match for Whirlipede and Weezing Poison Dark deck here. Let's see how that goes, how we get the matchups. So this is our first time going first, so we can definitely show the advantageousness of this deck to a point. So we're going to start with Suffocating Gas, and then we're just going to put up the rest of the bench there. Alright, so another Psychic deck, so it could Alakazam deck, more than likely. So we're just going to have to pivot. The reason why I like starting sometimes with Suffocating Gas for going first is that this Suffocating Gas Koffing only has a 1 retreat cost, where the Division Koffing from Mythical Island has a 2 retreat cost. So that is a big difference when it comes to pivot and setting up sometimes, where in turn 1 you can't do an attachment from the energy zone. So if you're able to kind of just set up the rest of the board, and just, in this case we have an X speed in hand, we can just pivot to something else that will be a little more advantageous to our board state. So, but right now our opponent is setting up a Hypno Drowsy on the bench. We're going to get all of our basics into play. We want to have our options open. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to set up the bench here. And I'm going to let our opponent think we don't really have much here. We could have Suffocating Gas for 20 to put pressure, but then more than likely this Abra is going to go to the bench anyway. So definitely want to see what we get. If he puts us asleep, which he probably will with that Hypno, we have a Koga in hand, so we could evolve Koga and get that Koffing out of the active spot, and then put that Weezing into the active spot, kind of pivot everything around that way. But we're not even asleep, so that's good. So we have a Leaf as well. So what we're going to do is that we're going to put a lot of pressure here, and we're going to only have to use the X speed, which is perfectly fine. Promote the Weezing up, and we're going to knock out this Abra because of weakness. And now, yes, he has a Hypno here that can do damage, but we also have a Koga in here. So the Side Punch can do 50 for 3 energy. So he has to 3-shot us, or he has to use the Giovanni to 2-shot us. But we get to 2-shot him back. So let's see, does he get the sleep? He does not get the sleep. So he's just gonna hit us for 50. So we're in a spot here. We're actually not in a spot. What we can do is we're gonna promote. We're gonna do that. So what I want to do is I actually want to keep the Koga for next turn just in case he does keep us asleep. We're going to use the Leaf, which reduces our retreat to 1, and we only have to waste 1 into 2. We're going to poison this Hypno, and then we're going to hit the Hypno for 50 because of weakness. So 50 plus a poison tick will get it down there. So now this Hypno, our opponent really has to get something on the bench and retreat this Hypno out. Gives us a roll, which is perfectly fine. Because even if he puts us asleep, that actually doesn't change any math for us, believe it or not. Alright, so he's retreating out. He's going to give us a rolls. So what we can do, and what we will do, is we're going to use this Koga to get this Weezing out. Especially if it's asleep. We'll see if we stay asleep or not. We're asleep, so yeah, we're definitely going to use the Koga to get this Weezing out. We're going to do another one-shot KO to the Ralts. And then what we're going to do, so we're going to heal the benched Weezing. We're going to prep. It doesn't matter if we poison, because the smokescreen will KO. But what we will do now is we will basically recycle that Weezing. So now we're up to 0 again. So this Hypno has to succeed on the sleep, or we have him. Puts a Mew on into play. So let's see. Well, are we asleep? Are we not? We're not asleep. Awesome. So now our opponent's gonna punch into us, and then we're just gonna punch right back. We did this entire match with just Weezings. But that's the beauty of this deck. It doesn't have to rely on poison sometimes. Sometimes it can rely on the smokescreen. So, but that's the beauty of the matchup here. The Weezing, the Scolipede kind of showed off everything it can be. It really takes advantage of the Psychic meta right now with Mewtwo and other Psychic decks. But it's a really, really good deck. Let me show off. Do all the fun stuff here. So show off the list one more time. Show off the list one more time. As we see, it's a split 2-2 Koffing Weezing. We have a 2-2-2 line of the Venipede, 1 Potion, 2 X Speeds, 2 Pokeballs, 2 Research, 2 Koffing, and then a Leaf. But before we head out, let's open up my daily pack. Let's take... No. I do not want to open genetic packs. I want to open up the new pack. Let's open up a Mythical Island while we're at it. How about that? Finish off the video on a fun little pack opening. I just randomly selected random pack and we go. Nothing. Nothing crazy. Oh well. But again, that is Scolipede Weezing. Hopefully you guys enjoy the gameplay. If you have any fun pocket decks you want us to showcase or play with, definitely leave a comment. If you like Pocket, you want to see more Pocket content, definitely subscribe to the channel, give a like to the video. Lets us know what you guys like and what you guys want to see in the future. And we will revisit Pocket on the channel in the past. I really love its gameplay and everything, so this is not something that's a one-hit wonder. But with that being said, thank you guys so much. Like I said, if you like what you're seeing, like, comment, subscribe, and see you guys later.